Hello. Ah. Hello. How's it going? I'm not sure, Natasha. They're still not done yet, so I have no idea. The leak came back, unfortunately, sweetheart. I'm late because of a doctor appointment. What did I miss? A lot of screaming. That's the truth. You missed a lot of screaming. And Alex fell asleep in class and borrowed pencils from her brother. That's about it so far. I went and I got I got one of those fruit feeders and I filled it with ice cubes because I didn't have time to freeze fruit. Well, you should come visit, Natasha, anytime. When do you leave? I put ice cubes in the fruit feeder. They said they fixed it yesterday. We'll see, but they still haven't made plans to fix the floor, so who knows. They are not playing well today. She is currently chewing on a fruit feeder that has ice cubes in it. Okay, we should see you before then, Natasha, for sure. Maybe Thursday. Or you can come over today. There's a farmer's market happening today. Yeah, fixed it. Yeah. All right, let's try to keep reading. Now that she's got those, if she gets angry again, I can put more ice cubes in there. They seem to keep her happy for the moment. She is thrilled with the ice cubes. Well, finish it faster so that you can come to the farmer's market where we're gonna have like playtime and stuff. Okay, let's see where we are. Before she finished granting Alex permission to leave the classroom, Alex had already jumped out of her seat, grabbed her school bag, and headed out the door. Connor watched. Is Yaya going? She can if she wants. I didn't invite her because I didn't know if she'd want to. Dad says the ice maker's not needed. I know, right? Seriously, we definitely need the ice maker. Connor watched his sister leave. His eyes were bulging with suspicion. Why had she taken her backpack with her to the bathroom? He had to know what was going on. He was going to confront his sister here and now at school where she had no place to run and no bedroom to lock herself into. Mrs. Peters, Connor called out. Yes, Mr. Bailey, Mrs. Peters asked. Can I see the nurse? He asked. What for? She asked. He hadn't thought this far into the plan. Well, my elbow hurts, Connor said. Mrs. Peters stared at him blankly. She may have believed him more if he told her that he was a dinosaur. Your elbow hurts? She asked. Yeah, seriously, Natasha, it's true. Yeah, my elbow hurts really bad. I banged it on my desk and now it's just killing me, Connor said, clutching his perfectly fine elbow. Mrs. Peters squinted and rolled her eyes, two of her trademark indications of annoyance in one expression. Hey, what happened? It's right here. You dropped it. You don't have to be annoyed. You just have to re-pick it up. Fine, the teacher said, but I'm going to have to write you a pass. Connor was out the door before she could finish her sentence. It's right here, sweetheart. It's right here. Meanwhile, Alex burst into the girls' room. She quickly looked underneath the stalls. That's it? You're really going to give me 2.5 minutes of peace? Oh, Lordy, this might not be my day. It wasn't my night either. Let's see if I go get more ice, if I can get a few more minutes out of her. Let's see what happens. Yes. Do you want to lay here for a second while I get the ice? Let's see. Let's see. Let's get the ice. Let's get the ice. Mommy's right here. Uh-oh, if I can open this thing. Okay, it's open. There we go, look at that. Look what Mommy made. Mommy made you an ice pop. Here you go, my sweet angel. Here you go. Oh, yummy. Ice pop. But you gotta have it before it melts. This isn't like the fruit. Once it melts, it goes away. It just drips all over the place. Yeah, there you go. Okay. You're doing great. The trenches will end eventually. Yeah. I won't lie, it does feel very defeatist, you know, sometimes where you're like, man, what am I gonna do? Like, what am I doing wrong? Like, there's no, like, sometimes you feel like there's nothing you can do right, and you're just like yesterday we had a really rough day, and last night was a really rough night. And you just wonder. She did find it funny. She finds a lot of my pain funny. See? My leprosy. It's not really leprosy for anyone who doesn't know my joke. Okay. Meanwhile, Alex burst into the girls' room. She looked quickly underneath all the stalls to make sure that she was alone, and she zipped open her school bag, pulled out the Land of Stories, and set it on top of the sink. It was glowing and humming more than ever. Please turn off, Alex said to the book. I'm at school. I cannot get caught with you here. The sound and shine slowly faded, and the Land of Stories returned to just being a normal book. Alex sighed with relief, but panicked once more when someone suddenly charged into the restroom. It was her brother. Bees don't have a mating season, Alex, Connor said with a tightened brow and his hands on his hips. I looked it up. They come from colonies just like ants, even the big ones. They don't have schedules. Connor, what are you doing in here? You can't be in the girls' bathroom, Alex shouted. I'm not leaving until you tell me what's going on, Connor demanded. You've been lying to me all week, and I know something is up because I have twin tuition. Twin tuition? Alex asked sarcastically. Yeah, whatever, I made it up, Connor said. It means that I know when something's bothering you, even if you tell me that nothing is. At first, I thought maybe you were just having girl issues. Oh, Connor, please, Alex interjected. Well, then, after the strange buzzing noises in the late nights, I figured that Mom must have gotten you a cell phone and didn't want me to know about it, but then I remembered you have no friends. So who would you be calling and texting? Alex grunted. Now he was being accusative and rude. But I know you well enough to know that it would take something much worse to make you act this way, Connor said. You're quiet, you don't know any of Mrs. Peters' answers, and you're falling asleep in class? You're acting like me, so just tell me. What's your problem? What's wrong, honey? It's right here. Yeah, I know. Chew on it. It's gonna feel better if you chew on it. Yeah. It's right here. See the ice cubes? Yeah. The nice thing about the silicone thing is that it protects her from the actual ice, obviously, so that she doesn't like freeze her gums or whatever, because it's pretty thick silicone, so that's nice. Alex didn't say a word. She just stared at her feet. She was so ashamed of how she had been acting, but she knew no one would believe her if she told them why she was that way, except maybe her brother. Connor looked around the girls' bathroom. Gosh, it's really nice in here. The boys' bathroom looks like the bottom of a hazard waste barrel. Wait, do you have Grandma's book with you? I don't know what's going on. Alex burst into the loud, awkward tears that only happen when you're exhausted and overly stressed. Connor took a step back for his own protection. He had never seen his sister so hysterical. At first, I thought I was hallucinating, Alex said. I thought that maybe I was having a reaction to something that Grandma made us for dinner the first night that happened, but then it kept happening, so that I knew it wasn't a reaction. Alex, what are you talking about? Connor asked. The Land of Stories book, Alex yelled. It glows. It hums every day. It gets louder and brighter. I've lost so much sleep trying to figure out how and why it does. It breaks all the laws of science. Oh, Connor said with raised eyebrows. Alex, I think we should go see the nurse. You must think I'm insane, Alex told him. Anyone would come to that conclusion unless they saw it themselves, but I promise you I am telling the truth. No, I don't think you're insane, Connor lied, starting to think that his sister was definitely going insane. It happens like once or twice a day, Alex said. I was afraid that Mom would find it, so I brought it to school. The last thing she needs is to worry about a book that's possessed lying around her house. Connor didn't know what to say. He briefly imagined the future trips that he and his mother would take to see his sister in the local asylum and the wisecracks that he would make about the cool white jackets that she got to wear. Clearly, his sister had lost her mind, but after all they'd been through, he couldn't really blame her. He kept thinking about how his dad would have handled the situation. What story would his dad have used to comfort Alex? Alex, Connor said with understanding eyes, we've been through a lot the last year, and it's perfectly normal for you to feel overwhelmed. And then the humming started again. They looked back at the Land of Stories on the sink, to Alex's relief and Connor's horror. It was glowing. Connor jumped back against the wall as if he were in the presence of an explosive. The Land of Stories book, he yelled. It glows and it hums. I told you, Alex said, and Connor's mouth was open so wide that it was almost touching his chest. Is that thing radioactive? He asked. No, I doubt it, Alex told him, and she reached out for the book. Don't touch it, Alex, Connor shouted. Relax, Connor, Alex assured him. I've been dealing with it all week. Using one finger, she flicked the book open, and the entire restroom was illuminated. All the illustrations and writings had disappeared, but the pages seemed to be made of pure light. It's right here, sweetheart. These are your ice cubes. Here it is. Yummy. Yeah. Alex leaned closer to the book. Listen, do you hear that? She asked. I can hear birds and leaves. I've never heard sounds coming from it before. Connor edged away from the wall and leaned down in with his sister. Hey, it's right here. It's right here. Yummy. Yeah, isn't that yummy? Yummy. Here, take it. Can you hold it? Can you hold it for mommy? Yeah. Can you hold it? 2 hands. You gotta use 2 hands. It's heavy. 2 hands. 2 hands. Connor edged away from the wall and leaned down with his sister. The sound of birds chirping and trees blowing in the wind echoed off the tile and the porcelain in the bathroom. How is this even possible? Connor asked. Are you sure this doesn't have batteries or something? My most educated analysis, with all means of science and technology in mind, is that this is magic, Alex said. There's no other possible explanation. Do you think Grandma knows about this? Connor asked. She had this book for years before she gave it to us. Do you think this has happened before? I don't think Grandma would have given it to us if she knew what it was capable of, Alex said. You're right, Connor said. She still cuts my meat up when she comes over for dinner. She definitely doesn't even trust me with knives. There's more, Alex said. She reached into her school bag and she pulled out a pencil. Carefully, she placed the pencil on the open book, and it quickly sank into the glowing pages, and it disappeared. Where did it go? Connor spluttered in utter astonishment. I don't know, Alex said. I've been dropping things into the book all week. Pencils, books, dirty socks, anything else I could find that I knew I wouldn't miss. I think it's some kind of portal. Sweetheart, here. This is nice, right? Yeah, I know. A portal to what? Connor asked. Sweetheart. Shh. We gotta be quiet, girls, right? When reading is happening, we have to be quiet, girls. Yeah. Here, look at this. Yummy. Oh, so yummy. Yeah, can you hold it? Can you hold it? There you go. A portal to what? Connor asked, and Alex didn't have an answer. Of course, there was one location. Sweetheart, it's not very nice to scream over mommy's reading. I know, you think that's funny. Alex didn't have an answer, but of course there was one location that she hoped it might lead to. The twins leaned down even closer to the book. Their nose was almost touching it. They had to squint because it was so bright. I know. Here you go. Suddenly, a bright red bird flew out of the book. Yeah, that's how... Okay, do you want to sit up now that you've had your ice? Here, look. Look. Here. Yeah. There you go. There you go. Look at all that stuff. Very cool. The twins screamed and they ran around the room in a panic. They bumped into each other, they bumped into walls and into sinks as the bird zoomed around above them. It was just as panicked as they were. And finally, Connor opened the bathroom door and the bird flew out into the room. Out of the room and into the world. You didn't say that things came out of it too, Connor yelled. I didn't know. That's the first time that that's happened, Alex yelled back at him. The book slowly dimmed and it returned to normal. Connor's head was spinning. He couldn't believe all the things that he had just witnessed. No wonder Alex was having such a rough week. He now felt his own sanity might be slipping away too. We have to get rid of this book, Connor exclaimed. After school, we should ride our bikes down to the creek and we'll toss it in there so that no one ever finds it again. We can't get rid of it, Alex said. This is Grandma's book. It's been in our family forever. Birds are flying out of it, Alex. I'm sure she'll understand, he said. What if a lion or a shark comes out of it next? I know it drives you crazy when you don't know stuff, but this is one matter that you need to let go. It could be more dangerous than we think. Who knows what might happen? She knew that her brother was right. There was something about the whole situation that intrigued her past the point of reason. I think that you're overreacting, Alex said. I don't want to get rid of it until I know more about it. She closed the book and she put it back in her school bag and walked out of the restroom. Alex, don't you walk away. Alex, Connor called after her. The twins returned to class and all the students were silently reading their history books. Alex, we need to talk, Connor whispered. Mr. and Miss Bailey, please have a seat and read the chapter on Mesopotamia, Mrs. Peters ordered from her desk. Yes, Mrs. Peters, Alex said, and then turned back to her brother and whispered, We'll talk about it later, Connor. Connor let out a sound similar to something that a bear would make. Sweetheart, please. Over here. Sweetheart, look at all this. Look, you don't have to go that way. There's nothing over there, honey. Do you want this? Do you want this? Okay, you can have that. Is that what you wanted the whole time? Wow, I'm an idiot. That's cool. I'm glad that I'm literally made of dum-dum. She just wanted the water mat. It was just slightly out of reach. When she can finally talk, the whole world is going to open up for me. Well, don't drown yourself in it. Can you prop up? There you go. Connor let out a sound similar to something that a bear would make. Mr. Bailey, how was the nurse? Mrs. Peters asked. There was no need to go to the nurse, actually. My elbow just started feeling much better right before I got there, Connor said, holding an elbow other than the one he had previously claimed was hurting. Mrs. Peters raised an eyebrow so high it was almost above her. The twins sat at their desk and opened their history books, but neither of them could actually read. Their thoughts were so loud it was impossible to focus on anything. Wow, that sounds familiar. I've never heard this series, but I feel like there's turmoil in that of stories and it's screaming for help. That's a great guess. You're just trying your best. Yeah, we're trying. She's screaming at me in a way that makes me not be able to think. I don't know how all of you are thinking. Hey, what if we do this? What if we put this over here? Wow. That's nice, huh? Okay. Very good. No screamies. No more screamies. Very good. Connor kept looking up at his sister, hoping that she would turn around so that he could make some sort of gesture to make her understand just how serious the situation was. Alex could feel her brother's eyes on the back of her head, so she remained facing forward, set on ignoring him. And then, the worst possible thing that could have happened. The Land of Stories began humming in the quiet classroom from the inside of Alex's bag. She looked back at her brother, finally making eye contact. What were they going to do? Mrs. Peters had been so caught up in her lesson plan that she hadn't heard it earlier. Was it possible that she'd missed the sound again? What is that noise? Mrs. Peters demanded, and all of the students were looking around the room, wondering the same thing. Alex and Connor were terrified. They felt like their stomachs had fallen out of their bodies. Mrs. Peters got up from her desk and started searching around the room. Like a coyote sniffing out its prey, she walked... Sweetheart. Honey. What's the matter, baby? What's wrong? You had your medicine. You had ice pops. You have all your toys. You refuse to sleep. You refuse to eat. What's the matter, baby? I tried to feed her while we weren't on live. She would not eat. She was like, no milkies. I don't want it. She won't sleep. She won't go in the wrap. But she also doesn't want to be put down. So we're having one of those days where we don't know what we want. No ups, no downs, no food, no not food. You just don't want us to read this chapter. Is that what it is? She will only sit in a chair she doesn't want to lean against. Now, I tried that. I tried sitting her against me like this, and she gets real mad and tries to crawl out of my lap. And when we put her in a chair, whether it's a high chair or the other chair, she'll sit in it for about 3 minutes before she gets mad. Okay, you want to stand? Look, you're standing. How lovely. It's not gonna last, but oh yeah, okay, now we're down. She's just real mad because she doesn't know how to crawl. That's really what it is, because she's like, you can see her trying to move forward and she gets frustrated when she can't go. Okay, you want this off? Because it's a little bit wet from your ice pop. This bib can go bye-bye. Say bye-bye, bib. Bye-bye, bib. Okay, where do you want to go? Look, here's Mirror Baby. We love Mirror Baby. Do you want to sit in Mommy's lap and play with Mirror Baby? Yeah, okay. Would you like a bottle? No, she won't take, like I tried to feed her when we were off the live. She just won't take any food. Yeah. No, it's not that you're wrong. She just wouldn't take it. She wouldn't take any food. So I was like, well, you know. Honey. We're just not gonna have book club today, is that what it is? No book club for Mommy? She thinks that's hilarious. All right, we're not going to be able to focus while she's screaming. There's no way to read when someone's screaming that much, so I'll try again tomorrow. I'm sorry, you guys. Bye, guys. I know, honey.